Before this video starts, I just want to say I am really sorry about the delay. I don't really have a good reason for it. I'll kind of talk a little bit about it at the end of the video. But besides that, this is not technically the finale. This is more of my own way of kind of saying the finale because this is the rest of the monsters of the game, at least so far until Inkfell comes out. But besides that, this is definitely not the end. This is just the ending of the main line of what this kind of little series has become. So yeah, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but that's about it. Let's go into the video. That only caps around 5 HP left, and once 5 HP is left, there's two sides of this game, Survivor and Monster. Depending on what you play as, depends on what happens. As a Survivor, your job is to, well, survive, and also there's objectives on the top right of your screen that will tell you exactly what you need to do, and it depends on what map. For certain maps you have 2, some you have 1, and you get coins dependent on how many objectives you completed. By running away from the monster, or doing your objectives normally by collecting items, or other different types of things you need to do, and winning the game can all give you money. On the monster, on the other hand, it's a little different. Kill everyone. That's really all it is. Different monsters have different abilities. I will only go over a couple, but you get the gist of it. Money can be spent to buy monsters, skins for monsters, animations, and a couple of other things. Now let me talk about a couple of monsters, and how you can deal with them and what their abilities are. Vapor, the one you start with at the beginning of the game. The monster that, well, is kind of broken, but also not. He has Spider Skull Summon and Dimension Shift. These two abilities are actually very good and very much carry each other, and also carry this dude. Dimension Shift lets him be able to teleport behind him, and an orb will be left on the ground, which is how you know where you'll be teleported to. He can also teleport to his own head crabs, as I call them, that when chasing players, it's really good to use them whenever you get a hit on a player. They highlight, meaning you can teleport to the head crab and destroy them because he does 75 damage. To survive Vapor, your best bet is to just run as far as you can. He cannot teleport if he doesn't have a head crab on you, and if he does, you can actually press E on the head crabs to break them. Breaking them will stop them, of course, from hitting you, and will also stop him from teleporting to there. Whenever you get hit by a head crab, usually try to expect that he will teleport to you, because he usually will, since you get highlighted whenever you get hit by a head crab. So your best bet is to just get hit, break it, and then run as far as you can. And then, if he does teleport to that location, just keep running, you'll be fine. Keep steady stamina, he will not keep up with you. EXE. He has two abilities, which is Too Slow and Thorny Grave. These two abilities make him very terrifying. His first ability is Too Slow, making him go really fast and grab someone to do massive damage to them. This is a way of, well, of course, speeding up and chasing players. This is also good if you want to get someone stuck. You can use this and then Bear Trap to combo. It sometimes doesn't work, but the only problem with this ability is the fact that he has a delay after he bites someone, giving you a good advantage to run away from him. His other ability is basically a Bear Trap. Whenever you sit on the ground, you'll get people stuck to it, and it also deals damage to them. That only caps around to 5 HP left, and once 5 HP is left, you will immediately get out of the trap. You can also break the trap in two ways. If you get stuck, you can break the trap normally by spamming E, but the problem with that is you'll most likely die before you even break it. But the other way is you can destroy it before you even step on it by standing pretty close to it and holding E. It takes a very long time, but you can break it and help other people, and yourself, of course, so you don't actually step on it and get absolutely obliterated. The best way, I would say, is to survive this guy is by breaking as many traps as you can, staying a far distance, of course, keeping a very, very good amount of stamina as time goes on, because he definitely can catch up to you. And if he uses a speed ability, he will probably catch you, and if you do get bit, try to run as far as you can. You can juke him out, but most likely he will place a bear trap where you'll do a juke point at. So try not to go around him too much, because he'll probably place a bear trap there. So your best bet is, if you're on a close quarters map, you probably will be fine, as long as there's not a lot of doorways, and he doesn't, even he's not very smart, and doesn't place bear traps all over the doorways and juke points. Besides that, your best bet is to either break all the traps, run as far as you can, or die. I don't really know how to live this guy that much. He's insane. MX, the big brute of the game. What can I say? I love MX. MX has two abilities, which is his charge and the ability to do a pow hop. His pow hop basically forces everybody to jump, and if they do not, they get stunned. If you land on someone with this attack, they're dead. You can also use it as a great movement tool to get kills, keep a little bit of extra stamina when you do a hop, so you don't have to use as much stamina when chasing players. It's very useful. His charge attack basically makes him to where he has a charge forward. If he hits a wall, he gets stunned. If he hits a player, he does 9 damage if they do not get direct contact. If they get slammed into a wall, yeah, they're dead. Uncle Samsonite is so much fun. He forces people to dance, he can take people to his domain, he can do a lot of things. And let's talk about it a little bit. He has 3 abilities: Beat Laydown, Uncle's Wrath, and Domain Traversal. These 3 abilities make him actually very good and very fun. But let's first talk about Beat Laydown. Beat Laydown basically forces people to start dancing, or gets their meter up a little bit and will eventually make people start dancing. But this can also be used as a movement tool if you want to, but usually you want to use this to make people dance. Next we have Uncle's Wrath, which is his other ability. He used to not have this, but now he does. Which Uncle's Wrath basically makes to where you slam on the ground and you can see everyone around you, but it also makes their dance meter go up. This doesn't do damage, even though you kind of would think it does, but it actually doesn't. The best way I would say you can use this is behind a wall. If you know there's a player there, then you could do the Uncle's Wrath and then immediately start doing the dance. Chase somebody down, you could probably catch them with the dance. If you don't, well, that skill issue, I guess, I don't know. The next is Domain Traversal, which I think is kind of a hit and miss ability. The reason why I say this is because it's good, because you could be able to go inside the domain, immediately come out through a door, and then you can see where everyone is and see their HP. The only problem with it is when you put someone in the domain. If they find the door immediately, they just disappear, and you don't know where they go because you do not teleport to the same door as them, even if you go through the exact same door they just went through. It's kind of a gamble, so I don't always recommend putting people inside the domain. You can, but don't always do that. I do not like this character, but let's go over them. They have 2 abilities, which is Demonic Shriek and Echolocation. These 2 abilities make them okay, just not great. Their first ability is actually something that's good, which is Demonic Shriek, which causes players to have stamina drain really bad, and also highlights players around you for a second, and makes their screen kind of blurry. This is actually a pretty decent ability and helps them a lot. It's just that their low stamina and low damage makes them, this ability kind of meh. But if you do want to use them, this is an ability I'd highly recommend using a lot. Next is Echolocation. This highlights everyone around the map, but just know if you're chasing someone from a long distance with this ability, yeah, that's just not really gonna work, because it goes away pretty fast, and by the time you get over there, they're probably long gone. So try to only really use this just to get a kind of an idea of where everyone is, not really to chase people from a mile away.
I always come back.
If you want to chase someone around a building for about a good 5 minutes every single time you see somebody, this is the character for you. He has two abilities, which is Ventilation Arrow and Phantom Step, and these two abilities do make him very good. It's just, he's a little slow, and whenever he chases somebody, you'll probably be chasing them for a little while, so if there's a lot of players in the lobby, you're probably not going to kill them all. Ventilation Arrow basically causes players to have like random black screens every couple seconds and then goes back, but it also makes an extremely loud noise so you can tell where they are from a pretty long distance. Also makes them run a little bit faster, and yeah, it's just kind of broken. If players do not really know where to go, they are going to die. But that also depends on one thing. If they do know where to go, and if the black screen doesn't really stop them from hitting a wall or something, and if it does have them hit a wall, they're probably dead. But if it doesn't, then most likely you're never going to kill that person. You might be able to catch them because of how much stamina he has, but that's the problem with Springtrap. You might be chasing someone for a little too long, and that's why I say killing everyone in the lobby probably would take him too long unless they're not very smart. His next ability is Phantom Step, which basically lets him be able to see everyone around the map. He moves very quickly, he doesn't lose any stamina or uses the ability. It's just very good, and I do like using this ability a lot since it tells you where everyone is, first off, which is a great way of finding where people are and get an idea. It lasts a while too, unlike Rosemary, so you can see and follow people from a long distance. The other thing is it's also a good movement tool since you can't really lose stamina from it. You won't gain stamina, but you won't lose it either whenever you're using it. So if you're chasing somebody, you could also use it, just to never get off them. Aloni. He's not the greatest, but he is fun. He's actually a pretty good character on his own. It's just that, compared to the other ones, he's not as good, but he's still great. So let's talk about his abilities. His first ability is Zoni Vision, which shows everyone around the map. It also lets you freely attack, which doesn't sound that great, but then you realize that he gets an extra bit of stamina where he uses the ability, which is actually great for chasing players. So if you're chasing someone and you use the ability, you'll have a better chance of catching up to them. Or they'll just run out of stamina and they'll die anyway. Pretty much either way works. His next ability is Shapeshift, which of course lets him turn to another player. This is actually great because he has the same amount of speed as a player, so you can't really be like, oh, he has more speed than no other player. That's definitely Aloni. You can't really tell because there's no really indication that he's Aloni. You can even fake doing objectives and it wouldn't look like you're Aloni. So it's actually a great ability. You can just go behind a player and they're not looking and do an objective and then just break their neck pretty much. It's pretty good. The Forest King. Probably the most terrifying theme in this game. You Yeah, no, the theme is ripped right from Coronation Day, which I will say I have looked into Coronation Day, so I know this thing is pretty creepy, to say the least. Yeah, let's go into his abilities. Their first ability is Glitching Blitz, which shoots out a little glitch ball that does damage over time. This is great if you want to get people low, and it helps a lot when you got people who are pretty good at running and getting around the map. So this is actually good of getting people low enough to whenever they do run out of stamina, you can catch them, and they're probably going to be one-shot by the time you get there if you slow yourself down. If you didn't know, they actually do more damage if they are not sprinting, which is great for the situation because if they run out of stamina, they're probably dead immediately. Their next ability is Lurking Facade, or a simple way to put it, Floating Heads. This basically spawns in this little head that will chase after players constantly. But there's a lot of good things about this ability. Number one, if it sees a player, it will highlight them and other players around them, from what I know. The other thing is it will constantly be chasing a player no matter what. It will go away eventually, but it is faster than a player who is not running. But if they are running, they can of course outrun it. The other thing is if it hits a player, it will get them stuck in this tree. They cannot get out of it for a couple seconds. It also speeds the Forest King up tremendously and also ups their stamina. And it's a crazy ability to use. And if you use it on a player nearby, yeah, they're done. Fogborn, the absolute speed demon he is. Let's look at his abilities. His first ability is Thunder Warp, which lets him go invisible and go insanely fast. You can get out of this whenever you want to, and it's just super fun to use. And it's actually very good, since you can get around anywhere around the map and you will catch everybody. Now, one thing I will tell you is that this actually will highlight players for a split second whenever you use the ability. So you can actually kind of get an idea of where the players are. And it's pretty good, but you cannot do damage immediately after you teleport. That would be way too powerful, and you can't use any abilities after you get the teleport as well for a couple seconds. So don't try doing that, it does not. His next abilities will make Fogborn shine, which is Foggy Stare. Whenever someone looks at you in this mode, you immediately start rushing them down. They get highlighted. No one else can be highlighted besides them. You are out for blood, and the blood is that person, and you full sprint towards that person. You don't do a lot of damage as Fogborn, so you do gotta remember that they can still get out of it, but most likely they won't. If someone is being chased by you directly and there's really no cut points or anywhere to juke them out, yeah, no, they're dead.
Oh, hi.
Baldi, a character that is very hard to describe as really any way besides I have no idea if this guy is good or bad, because it is the most, there's one side that is I love this character, and one side that is I hate this character, and it's been the biggest thing between those two sides. So let's go into Baldi, pause, and let's talk about this a little bit. first thing we can talk about is his abilities, since we're going to need to understand a basic ability set for Baldi before we can really get into the strategies and stuff like that. Math will make people be forced into the screen that will make them do a math problem. If they get it wrong, it makes them go faster. If they touch it, it makes them go faster. And if they get it right, I don't think it makes them go faster. And I think that's really the only difference. You also take damage each time you get it wrong or right. So I would recommend really avoiding these as much as you can, because no matter what, it is going to be a problem for you. The other ability is anti-hearing tape, or silent running as I call it, which in the name, like I said, it basically causes the ruler to go entirely silent. Normally you will hit the ruler and it makes a noise, so everyone will hear it whenever you're moving. And it's pretty loud, but whenever you have the silent running, it just entirely mutes everything that he does. Because of this, you can sneak up on people a lot and catch him off guard. And he does pretty good damage, so yeah, this could cause someone to die immediately. You could also hide books underneath there, but I don't usually do that since people usually know to do that now. So let's watch future me and let him talk about how it is playing inside of a match and how it's like.
Oh, hi.
Oh yeah, you got Baldi in the building. So the thing about Baldi is, I'm going to explain it while we are going here. The way I would put Baldi is the only problem with him, and the main problem, is not his speed, because everyone says it is a speed. It's not his speed. If it was his speed, then that would be kind of a dumb assumption, just because of one reason. He has infinite stamina. He will never stop moving. And the thing is, the more the time passes, the faster he gets. Which thing is, you can do a couple of things to make yourself go faster. Place a book. I completely miss. Absolutely suck at the game. That could also work. We're playing on a big map, so we are a little bit cooked here. There's basically no way I'm going to be able to pull this off well until the later half of the match, so we are already in a bad point, because this guy is really good if you have like a really big map, like a smaller map to do this on, but because it's so open, people can just go around like that, and unless I have enough speed to catch up, this isn't going to work. Okay, someone failed a question. So someone's trying to loot me. And that's what happens when you try to loot me. I don't know why someone tried doing that. That's not gonna work. Hit a barrier there, that's not good. No one down. Okay, we got one guy here. There's a book right there, and go around. There we go. Either way, I would have been hit with something. Nice. There we go. We're not going. If we were going for XP, would have let him get that med kit. Yeah, this guy's dead. Running isn't gonna make it any better, bud. Just like that. No one down. Takes way too long. Yeah, so in my opinion, I think this map is awful. This is honestly the worst map for Baldi. And that's kind of sad how our only map that we got is the worst map in the entire game for Baldi. Really big open maps are just not going to work. It's not in their favor. But if you're playing in maps that are smaller and compressed, for Baldi especially, his own map, it's funny. His own map he's perfect for. Same with a ton of other maps, like FNAF 3 and stuff like that.
Oh, hi.
This map is not a good example. This is awful. I am so gonna fail this. This is all I'm gonna hear the whole game, isn't it? Yep, that's what I thought was going to happen. Oh, yep, he's dead. Yep. Nice. What are you doing? I'm going really fast now. Okay. Down. That, so I don't really mind. Ooh, a little too far there. You can keep doing that, but I'm not going to stop following you, bud. They're trying to loot me. So what we're going to do is, I hear someone huffing, so it's probably this person over here. Down. Shoot again. Even though this hitbox sucks. Nice. Ooh, nice dodge. Nice, now you're dead. This guy's definitely getting away. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe the rock launch. I'm gonna shoot. Now you're dead. Good play, though. Almost got away. Now, these other people are gonna get away because there's not enough time. It's too big of a map, and I'm not gonna be able to make it. We'll end it there, because I already know. Can't make it that far. Can't make it that far. Oh boy, Whist. He has Gobble Bomb and Frenzy. Let's go over these abilities, and this guy's pretty busted. His first ability is Gobble Bomb, which throws a random spit bomb. I'm not going to ask about it, but what it does is after 2 seconds, if it does not hit a player, it will explode. If it immediately hits a player, it will immediately explode and do some pretty good damage. You could do a lot of things with this bomb. You could long range people. If you're running out of stamina and if they're running in front of you, yeah, you can blow them up. There's a lot of things you could do with this, but most of the time you would use this is with this other ability, which is Frenzy. Basically causes you to do a little shimmy, and instead of 1 bomb, you throw 3. This also makes you fast. It highlights all players. It's very broken. Also, because of how fast he is, he does have a little bit of a faster stamina drain, but it's not really a big deal because of the bombs. The bombs is what makes him so broken. Also, a little thing, he does attack faster whenever he's in Frenzy, but I don't really think you'd be attacking. I think you're more chasing people to blow them up, because yes, Frenzy is what makes Whist known for being Whist, since he can chuck 3 bombs instead of 1 and basically wipe out a massive amount of people at the speed of 1. I am honestly not the biggest fan of Vita, but it's okay. It's still a pretty good character with a very weird hitbox, I swear, even though it probably is the fact that he's faster than most players. The other thing is he can go invisible, technically, and yeah, there's a lot of things. So, let's talk about him. He has 2 abilities, which is Elder Ascension and Animalistic Instincts, which, let's just say that one of them is not as useful as the other. His first ability is Elder Ascension, which causes his footsteps to go extremely quiet and he gets very dark. This is a great way of catching up to players and just randomly appearing at them and pretty much startling them and they don't really know what to do. Especially if there is only one player, you do extra damage, so that means you can definitely take care of that extra player and absolutely destroy them. His next ability is Animalistic Instinct, which is a really weird ability. I could definitely see it being good, it's a bit weird, I guess you could say. You basically highlight players that are really close to you, and it also inflicts a bleed effect, but it's kind of weird because you can't run, but you also can. I'm pretty sure that the bleed effect happens while, even if they're not highlighted, the bleed effect still can happen, which is why you can still kind of run, but you can't run at first, which is really weird, but it's fine, I guess. Do you hear it? Ta-da! Well, Godly Leap and Rated Miss. These two abilities make Neilo quite the interesting character. And also very map dependent. But let's talk about it. His first ability is Godly Leap, which lets him launch himself and pretty far, and also this hitbox is really weird, and I am very serious about that. This has the weirdest hitbox, either it hits a player or it doesn't. And sometimes it hits players when it really shouldn't. But it does some pretty good damage, and if someone's irradiated, which we'll talk about in a minute, then it does extra damage. His other ability is Irradiated Mist, which sprays down this weird looking mist that does extra damage, and also does damage over time. It makes Neilo do extra damage, and if you do the Godly Leap, it also makes you do extra damage. It is the big thing that carries Neilo. Well, this is the last one. Fuwatti has Oni Vision and Silly Rush. Oni Vision is, as you know, from Aloni, and Silly Rush is his new ability. He's an absolute demon. Let's talk about him. His first ability, just like Aloni, is Oni Vision, which showcases all the players for a bit of a duration. It also, just like Aloni, gives him a massive stamina boost for a couple seconds. What I mean is, it immediately ups his stamina whenever you're running. This is great for chasing players if you don't got enough stamina, but you can just use that, and you cannot attack while using it, but you will be catching up to them, and they'll probably run out of stamina and die, so it's pretty good. His next ability is Silly Rush, which is what Fuwatti is known for. Being able to dash and do about 70 damage whenever he hits them, and has a stupid weird hitbox sometimes, I swear, even though it doesn't, I'm just over exaggerating, but seriously I feel like it hits me even though it really shouldn't. Anyways, sorry about that. Yeah, it's just really powerful and very good. This is what makes Fuwatti Fuwatti. Hey, if you made it to the end of this video, well, you're probably here to hear what I have to say about a couple things. Number one, why I took forever. First off, this was supposed to be another video of a single. Just like Baldi, I was originally going to make this a just Whist video because you guys voted for Whist. And then I randomly changed it up and thought it'd be smarter to just do everything. The reason I also did that is because I took forever. I have been pretty bad at making videos, and I do apologize for that. The couple other things is I'm not using a new mic. I have a noise suppression thing set up because you can clearly hear my fan in some of the other videos. And I just kind of wanted to fix that up. And I'm using it right now. But I've noticed random cuts of my voice cutting out and random times where it kind of glitch out a little bit. And I will try to fix it in the next one. It's just, I really wanted to get this out, and I do really apologize if there's certain parts that just kind of feel a little weird and seem kind of weird for that. I do apologize. And this is not the last video. I have planned to talk about the Halloween skins. When the second part of the Halloween update comes out, I will talk about all of them at once with a friend. And I will also do a ranking on every monster whenever Inkfill comes out. And I will do a video on Inkfill as well. So this game is still gonna get videos. It's just, for now, we'll kind of take a break. Besides that, the next game I have planned is Blox Tales. Blox Tales or Giants, Skylanders Giants, because those are the two games I've been thinking about the most of playing. And besides that, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.